Hello everyone, and welcome to another video from Travels in Rural England. Today we're in the little church of St Bartholomew in a little village called Munsley, which is between Hereford and Ledbury in Herefordshire. I've never been here before, but I found it on the map, so I thought we'd come and have a look. At the rear of the church, there's an ancient chest. And the information tells me that it's a dugout type, hollowed out from a single tree trunk using an axe and an adze. In 2021, it was tested using dendrochronology, and the results show the tree rings spanning 89 years from 1255 to 1343. With the timber likely felled and converted between 1354 and 1388, which I think makes it about 650 years old. Therefore, the chest was likely constructed in the latter half of the 14th century. It says there's also evidence that the chest was once coated in a vivid red wax all over its exterior. Can you imagine what it would have looked like? Apparently there's another chest that I haven't found yet, made from 6 wide planks nailed together. And that's estimated to date from between 1540 and 1700. Let's have a look round and see if we can find it. I think this is it, just inside the entrance with the magazines on top. Yes, that's the one. Behind it is the church organ, which at the moment I know nothing about, because I haven't found a leaflet telling us about the church. Maybe there isn't one. After I came home, I did find a little bit more information about the church online. The National Churches Trust says it's easy to imagine this little church as it would have looked when completed in 1100, because there has been comparatively little alteration. Many of the original narrow window openings have survived, displayed on the inside to let in as much light as possible, without too much wind and rain. I guess in those days when it was first built, they didn't have glass. In time, larger windows with glass were added, and all but 2 of the larger windows of the 13th and 14th centuries. The font was made in the 1400s. There was once a doorway on the north side, but this is now blocked, and the present doorway is 14th century, with the porch rebuilt during the 1863 restoration. Whenever I come to a church like this, I always imagine singing in the choir stalls. I used to sing in choirs, I haven't done it for many years. But I've sung in many a church, sitting in the choir stalls in the past at weddings, funerals, Easter services, Christmas services, and sometimes just giving little concerts. There are a few rather lovely little stained glass windows. Let's see if I can zoom in. As you can see, it's a bright sunny day, which is quite unusual. We've been having very bad weather in the UK recently. But the forecast for today was sunny, so I thought it was a good time to get in the car and come out and find somewhere that we haven't been before. Let's have another look at the back of the church, see if we can find any information about it. I did find some online. If I can't find any here, I'll just add it into the commentary when I edit the video. What's this on the lectern over here? Apparently there's a mystery stone marking Hamlet's grave. I saw that online. Now I'm going to have to put my other glasses on so that I can read this for you. That's better. It's always good to be able to see what you're looking at, isn't it? In this article from January 1959, apparently it was said that the church is well known all over the world. One of its most mysterious features, the tombstone on the south wall of the nave, generally referred to as the Munsley stone. Apparently it's created considerable interest and speculation because in 1959 it was believed by some eminent authorities to be the stone marking the grave of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. It seems the vicar at the time wasn't quite so convinced, because he added, in my candid opinion, it will forever remain an unsolved mystery. The article continues that this, however, is not the only interesting feature the church possesses. Despite the renovations, 3 very fine examples of Norman windows still remain, one in the north wall of the nave, in the north wall of the chancel, and the third in the east wall of the chancel, each of which is endowed with Victorian glass. The distinctive style of these remarkably small windows enables light to be refracted inside the building. Those must be the small windows that we looked at earlier. The church was restored in 1863 at a cost of £750. It tells us a bit about these oak chests, which I showed you when we first came in. Let's see if we can find Hamlet's tombstone. Here it is on the wall over here, I think. To me, it's almost impossible to read what's inscribed on that stone. But the legend above says it's Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Now, let's go outside and take a look round because it's a lovely sunny afternoon. Let's just take one more look at both of these ancient chests before we leave. This is the older of the two, carved from a single log. And this was the newer one. We're in Herefordshire, so it's no surprise to me that we're surrounded by apple orchards, Herefordshire's famous for cider making. And just because I'm being nosy, and just because we can. There's a gate up here. Let's go and have a look at the view from it. We won't go through it, I'm not wearing the right shoes. And if I turn round and look back at the church, I think we're going to get the sun straight into the camera. I won't go round to the left of the church because you might be able to hear there's a small child there. I don't have anything against small children, but I don't think it's appropriate to put them in video. I didn't film the view approaching the church for that same reason. The child and her mother were leaving the church as I arrived, so I'll show you the view as we're leaving instead. And future me just interrupting here, I did actually insert a little bit of this footage at the beginning of the video and ran it backwards, so it looked as if we were approaching the church. What a lovely little church. I'll see if I can find more information about it for you when I get home. Look at this lovely bench over here. Isn't that gorgeous? In case you're wondering, I'm walking forward and holding the gimbal facing backwards, so I have no idea what it's actually filming because I can't see. Let's take one last look back at this gorgeous little church. I'm glad I found it.